So it's been a minute since I have actually ranted about useful stuff. I know in my last one I kind of seemed jumpy and very chaotic, but I think as I continue to go more through it, I need to be able to talk about it or write about it. I know I should probably journal a lot more than I need to, so I can get it out. But feelings aren't great for me. I am one of those people that not only you can see that I struggle with talking about how I work, how my mind works, how my body works, because it's all complicated. I am a very complicated person. I hate that I'm a very complicated person. I hate how my brain works. I hate how my body works. I hate how I work in general. And I hope that this is something that I'm not going to go through in like 10 more years. I really hope it doesn't take 10 years, but I really hope that I won't be this complicated when I'm older, or else I might off myself because of it. So feelings for me are hard to talk about, or hard to come by, because I grew up in a very non-conflicting family. Not only was I received nothing but trauma, I was never able to fully cope with all that I had because I had nobody who cared. My parents divorced when I was like 3 or 4. I had 3 brothers who had bullied me relentlessly because that's what siblings do, which still caused me a lot of trauma. I've had to deal with trauma with my mother and ex-stepfather. I've had to deal with the traumas of pretty much moving ever since I was a baby. I had to deal with trauma of my mother almost dying, lots of trauma with mental illnesses and all of that. So I had no way to cope with that because I had nobody to cope to. I had nobody to talk to. Friends was never easy for me to come by, and when I had those friends, they didn't really take much feeling seriously. They're more of the dark humor, make fun of, our issues type of thing. Which I do dark humor all the time, I feel very backwards as a person because of it. But, I never was able to figure out how to cope with everything that I've dealt with and everything that I had gone through because, my family never talked about it. We never gone through it. We've never, received counseling for it. We've been in family therapy before, yes. I've been in therapy since I was 12. So, and here I am now, still in therapy because, I've lost copious amounts of therapists and have stopped seeing therapists because I just didn't care anymore, and I'm most likely going to be on medication for the rest of my life, but hey, here we are now. And I know that I'm still young and blah blah blah, and I probably, whatever, but yeah. So, all of that's not easy to kind of just figure out how to do. And I'm gonna probably be very confusing as I continue to rant about it, but I think that's kind of the point-ish. I am a very sentimental person. As much, I'm like a scale. As much as I hate the world, I hate everybody, I hate everything, I am a bitch at times, I am a very sentimental and emotional person who loves and cares way too much. I am also an empath. I can feel what others are feeling, I can feel their emotions. So it's hard for me to attach my being to other people's problems because I'm surrounded by nothing but problems. Not to mention, you place severe anxiety onto it and major depressive disorder onto it, plus a shit ton of PTSD. That's not gonna work together. That's all just gonna crash and clash and bang together like a fucking ocean waves against the shore or whatever. It's not easy. So whenever my dad goes through financial problems, I put all that onto me because I can feel it with him, you know? And now being 19, having a job, and being the only one at this point to help paying for us to move, it's a lot of pressure. You know, my oldest brother is already out living his life. I don't know what the plans are for my other older brother. And again, my youngest brother still has a year left in high school. He's a senior next year, or next month. You know? And he's going through life either very happily, or he's completely clueless on how anything's working. Because I pray to God, as much as I hate my brothers, I pray to God that nothing bad happens to them. Especially my youngest brother. I don't talk about my brothers much, because I feel the odd sheep, being the only girl among 3 boys. Growing up, I expected to be in this ball of just love and protection from them, but I never got that. I didn't get that until, I still don't get it, but, the bullying and teasing and shit like that from that has stopped since my grandfather passed away a couple years ago, 7 years ago? Yeah, 7 years ago. You know, I know they love me. You know, and I know emotions are also hard for them to kind of come by because of how their trauma affected them, you know, because it's literally just me and my 2 oldest brothers that went through shit. My youngest brother didn't know anything, didn't experience or be exposed to any of that, you know, so I pray that he doesn't have to. I feel like as a job for older siblings, they're supposed to protect the younger ones. It's silly because while I am glad nothing bad happened to my little brother when all that trauma happened, I feel the same way towards my oldest brothers. While they did go through the trauma as well, they cope with it better, you know? Sure, it's not really good ways of coping, but it's not like they're doing drugs or, you know, drinking every single day constantly and being alcoholics, you know? But the worrying with them just doesn't stop there because it's like I hate the phrase that anything can happen, because while that is true, I live in Portland, for fuck's sake. You know how much shit happens in Portland literally every single day? The fact that my little brother takes the bus to and from school every day, takes the Max, and walks. You know, the fact that he's getting surgery on his leg because of his birthmark. You know, my oldest brother is still coping with stuff. My other older brother is still dealing with stuff. And while they hide it, it takes a toll still, you know? When my dad's upset, when my mom's upset, when my boyfriend's upset, I can feel all of it. I can't shut it off. I can't shut off how I feel for other people. I'm not the best at helping people, but I try. And it's the same as with me hating humanity and hating the world, because the world sucks and people suck, you know? But it's like there's a little bubble of people that, you know, my little bubble of people. It's just them, and then there's the other outside world. So I'm in a bit of a rut because there's a lot going on in my life. There's still a lot to figure out in my life. And it's not going to be easy, nor is it going to be quick, because shit that happens, the shit I go through, the shit that I deal with on a daily basis takes a long time. Now, as time goes on, growing up has always been a fear of mine for as long as I can remember. I remember I was way too little to be afraid of what death would be like. Way too little to even worry about that stuff. So knowing that I've had probably anxiety way before I was diagnosed with it hurts. Now, I don't know who else grows up and thinks about life and being, you know, okay with what they're doing and not worry about what's gonna happen next or when they die, you know? I've never met anybody unable to cope with that. I feel like a freak that I can't cope with living and I can't cope with death, you know? Talking about life and dying is the deepest anxiety in my core, in my soul that there is. It is one of my deepest fears of life, is not only life itself, but it ending. I talk about how much I want to die all the time. Half the time I don't mean it. 100% of the time I don't even think about it. But talking about it brings up so much fear. And I know, you know, I'm still young, I still have a lot of life left, whatever. I don't think that applies anymore, considering how fucked up the world is, considering how fucked up humanity is. This is why I don't ever do anything by myself, because of how fucked up it is. You know, global warming's a thing. You know, there's crimes every single day, and there's probably one of my worst anxieties is health anxiety. I've never gone through surgery. I have never stayed the night at a hospital. You know, I've never had anything severely bad happen to me. I've never even broken a damn bone yet. But I know that something like that isn't going to last forever. One of these days, I'm going to break a bone. Anytime I feel something wrong within my body, I fear that I'm dying. A lot of people don't seem to get this health anxiety. A lot of people don't have it. And a lot of people don't take it seriously. But it is a serious thing. You have absolutely no idea how bad your anxiety have to be that when you feel normal bodily functions, you think you're going to die. I hate that I'm the only one suffering with this shit because I have nobody else to help me with it. Everyone invalidates how I feel, invalidates my feelings except for like my older brother, you know? That's why I get regular doctor checkups. That's why I do shit daily to make sure that I'm still alive and I'm breathing, because just like that, you can drop dead at any time. People with anxiety and who overthink, this doesn't stop. It doesn't stop about the past. It doesn't stop about the future. It doesn't even fucking stop about the present. So anytime I feel a pain, a sharp pain, or, a pain that I've had for a while, or I get dizzy, or, sure, I try to think normally of what it could be. Have I had water today? Have I ate today? Did I just stand up too fast? Sure, I rationalize because I'm the one that has to. Because no one else can tell me what's going on. I hate the saying that no one is going to truly understand your issues but yourself, or some quote along that line, and it's true. And that's where I'm going to be fucked for the rest of my life, because I've never met anybody with what I have. None of my friends have what I have. None of my family members or my boyfriend have what I have. And you have no idea how alone that feels. How much that hurts. The pain and the loneliness of the sheer panic that I have to deal with by myself because nobody else understands. Sure, I can have the reassurance that I'm okay, but it's this. It's this that is so damaged. It's so hard to retrain that I'm okay. You know how long that's going to take? How long and how much hard work and bad days and good days I'm going to have? I am afraid that I'm not gonna be okay. And it sucks too, because I not only fear about my life, I fear about my entire family. What if my mom gets in a car wreck? Same with my brothers or my dad. What if my little brother gets jumped? There's just so much worry. And I am only 19. I am trying so hard I'm at the age where I'm in my last of my teens. I'm gonna be 20 in 6 months. And sure, while it's like, oh, I'm gonna go get a new tattoo and all that stuff and plan out my birthday, but I'm gonna be 20. That brings up so much fear and anxiety within me, because at this point of life, it's like I have to figure out what to do with my life. I have to figure out what I want for my life, and figure out what the plans are, and I have nothing. I don't think of life at all. This is why I write stories. This is why I, take care of my cat, or I watch stuff on Netflix, because I don't want to think about reality for a split second. That's why all the distractions come in, because the second I think about my life and where it's going, I get like this. Me thinking about life is not a good thing. It has never been a good thing. You know, because it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't have it all planned out like these people do. You know, I'm still trying to work so hard through my mental problems, and it's so goddamn exhausting. What people don't understand is people with a lot of mental problems don't have the energy and hardly the motivation to even get up in the morning. You know how many times I say that I'm tired, and people remind me, oh, but you did nothing all day. That's not true. Sure, physically I might have done nothing, but my brain does everything. People don't understand that people with mental health issues aren't lazy, because they deal with so fucking much and go through so much shit in their heads constantly that they don't have the energy to get up in the morning. They don't have the motivation to move, let alone eat or drink water or take a shower. The littlest of tasks are impossible for them to do, and that does not make them lazy. We have to put so much more energy and so much more motivation and effort just to wake up and get out of the bed in the morning. Because of how exhausted our brains are and how exhausted our bodies are for going through just a single day. Nobody gets how exhausted I am. Because I have to do this by myself. And being almost 20, I have to do it by myself. I was never taught how to figure out life. I was never taught how to be an adult. I was never taught fucking anything. Because fucking nobody, took the chance to teach me anything. And now here I am, almost 20 years old, trying to figure it out by myself. As someone with no. As someone with so much anxiety, having to figure out life is the hardest thing ever. And I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. I literally just started a new job. That's literally it. I just started a new job that's, you know, working towards a career that I want in the future is being a pet groomer. You know, but it's like, I don't even know if that's what I do, like what I want. I don't even know what to do, you know, and this is, I don't know. I know I don't have to figure it all out right now. I know I don't have to think about it all right now, but that's all everybody talks about. That's all anybody ever talks about. Oh, so what else are you gonna do with your life? Are you gonna move out? Are you gonna, you know, get a place? You know, I don't want being an adult take away what I love to do. I don't want to turn out like my father. I don't want to just wake up and go to work, come home and go to work. I have hobbies that I love to do. I have friends I want to hang out with that I don't hang out with anymore. I have a cat to take care of. And sure, in the future, I'd like to travel. But that involves actually going out of states. That involves airplanes. And I've never even been on a plane before. I don't know how I'm supposed to cope with living, because nobody's ever taught me. And I don't want to live my life in fear. I don't want to spend the rest of my life being afraid all the time. I don't want to be sad all the time. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being scared. I don't want to live my life like this. But I feel like I'm going to. I already have to fucking figure this shit out by myself without my boyfriend because he's leaving. And by that time, we still have to figure shit out between us. Sometimes I think I'm just so goddamn unlovable. Because I have so much problems to work through. And I don't want to do them alone. I don't want to die alone. You know, and a lot of people talk about marriage and kids, and I just... life talk, death talk. Scare the fuck out of me. Because I don't know when I'm gonna die. I'm scared too. And I know that I don't have to think about that right now. But as a person with anxiety, I do overthink, you can't just stop thinking. I wish I could stop thinking. I wish I could turn it off, but I can't. There's no fucking off switch. Because I don't get to choose to think about this shit. Why do you think I have distractions? And I know sometimes I joke about, you know, how I cope with death is, oh, I'm gonna have my ashes sprinkled onto an animal and come back as reincarnated as one. Or I always talk about living with my best friend, which I don't even know is the plan anymore. I don't even know what the plan is, or even if I'm gonna move out, you know? And I know, I'm sure that my father will help me with, like, my bills and insurance. You know, I'm literally just learning about car payments and car insurance. I don't even have my fucking license yet, and I don't even want to talk about that, because that just makes me angry. But the fact of the matter is that I want to be happy. I want to be at peace. And the fact that I'm gonna have these problems for the rest of my life. The fact that I'm gonna lose people, and the fact that I don't know how I'm gonna do it. That's why I don't ever talk about it, or I need to write it down or something. Because I never want to come on here to explain how I feel for attention. It's so that everybody else understands what it's like. That's why I do these videos, because I need people to understand. Because while I'm sure there's people out there that feel the same, I want to be understood, and I want to be heard. And these days I'm just not getting it from anybody. You know, and talking out loud instead of writing it down is way more therapeutic, which is why I talk about this shit with my psychologist, you know? Because while it's not easy to get out the words, you still manage to kind of get through them as you go. But I don't want this to be my life forever. I want to be able to publish stories. I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be something in this world and be somebody in this world, but I feel like I'm one of those 1% that the world just doesn't care about. I'm pretty worthless. I really feel like I don't matter to anybody. I don't matter in this world. Nothing I do ever fucking matters to anybody, so sometimes I think, why does it all matter? You know? I'm never gonna be special. So, I hope that was everything I wanted to get through. I don't mean to make this super long. I know people, again, don't care because I'm worthless and people don't care about me, but hopefully I can reach out to maybe that one person. Who knows?